Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a highly unusual and complex legal drama unfolding in Sri Lanka, a case that has pitted two major state institutions against each other in open court. This story involves a Buddhist monk, allegations of illegal construction, and a direct clash between the Attorney General's Department and the Sri Lanka police. So grab your coffee, and let's unpack this fascinating situation. The central figure in this case is Venerable Balangoda Kassapa Thero. He's currently in remand custody, facing charges related to illegal constructions along the Trincomalee coastline. The accusation is that these constructions violate the Coast Conservation Act, a law designed to protect Sri Lanka's vital coastal ecosystems. The case was recently brought before the Trincomalee Magistrate, Mr. Samsudeen, and what happened next was completely unexpected. During the court hearing, a State Counsel representing the Attorney General dropped a bombshell. He informed the court that the Attorney General's Department had decided to withdraw the primary charge against Kassapa Thero and the other suspects. This charge was the one filed under the Coast Conservation Act, which is the very foundation of the case. The reason given for this decision was an agreement related to a separate writ petition that is currently pending in the Court of Appeal. Now, this is where things get interesting from a legal perspective. The magistrate immediately pointed out the implications of this move. He noted that if this main charge is officially dropped, the magistrate's court would then have the legal authority to consider granting bail to the suspects. Essentially, withdrawing the charge opens a direct path to their potential release from remand custody. For a moment, it seemed like a straightforward, if surprising, development. But that was before the police had their say. The police, who were the ones who initiated the case and conducted the investigation, were not on board with this decision at all. A team of senior police officers, including the Senior Superintendent of Police for the Trincomalee Division, stood up in court and voiced their strong opposition. They were adamant. They argued that since the case was handed over to them, they did not agree to dropping any of the charges. Their stance was clear. The investigation was their responsibility, and they believed the charges should stand. This created an unprecedented scene inside the courtroom, a direct, public confrontation between a lawyer from the Attorney General's Department and a high-ranking police team. You had two arms of the state, both responsible for upholding the law, openly disagreeing on how to proceed with a criminal case. This left the court in a state of uncertainty about the future of the entire legal proceeding. It is not every day you see the prosecutor and the investigators at loggerheads in front of a judge. The magistrate, faced with this conflict, had to carefully consider the arguments from both sides. After listening to the heated exchange, he laid out some crucial legal points. First, he acknowledged that the Attorney General indeed has the power to take over a case and make decisions about prosecutions. This is a fundamental principle of the legal system. However, he also emphasized that in such a situation, a report from the police is still a required part of the process. The police's input cannot simply be ignored. Second, the magistrate clarified the conditions for granting bail in this specific context. He stated that bail couldn't be granted just because there's a disagreement. The legal pathways for bail in this scenario are very specific. Either the charge has to be formally withdrawn by the prosecution, or the suspects have to plead guilty to the charges. Since neither of those things had definitively happened yet, the matter of bail was still up in the air. While this legal battle was unfolding inside, the situation outside the courthouse was also tense. A large number of Buddhist monks had gathered at the court premises to show their support for Venerable Kassapa Thero. Recognizing the sensitive nature of the case and the potential for unrest, authorities had taken significant security precautions. More than 100 police officers were deployed around the court, forming a heavy security cordon to maintain order and prevent any incidents. The atmosphere was charged, both inside and outside the court. The magistrate, seeing the clear contradiction and deadlock between the police and the State Counsel, decided that a resolution was needed before the case could proceed. He made a practical decision. He temporarily adjourned the hearing to give both parties an opportunity to sort out their differences. He ordered them to reconvene later in the afternoon at 2:30 p.m., at which point he will consider a final written report from the police. This adjournment essentially paused the proceedings, giving the Attorney General's Department and the police a chance to confer and hopefully come to a unified position. The entire case now hinges on what happens behind the scenes. Will the Attorney General's decision to withdraw the charge prevail? Or will the police's strong opposition force a reconsideration? The final written report from the police, which the magistrate has ordered, will be a critical document. It will likely detail their official stance and the reasons behind it, forcing the issue to a head. So, what does this all mean for Venerable Kassapa Thero? His immediate future, particularly his chance for bail, hangs in the balance, caught in this institutional crossfire. If the Attorney General's office stands firm and successfully withdraws the charge, he could be granted bail. But if the police manage to convince the court or the Attorney General's Department to maintain the charge, he will likely remain in remand. This case raises some very important questions about the legal process in Sri Lanka. Who has the final say when the state's own legal and law enforcement bodies disagree? How are such conflicts resolved? And what does it mean for the principle of a fair and consistent application of the law? The outcome of this specific hearing will set a significant precedent. It highlights the complexities of navigating the justice system, especially in high-profile cases that attract public and political attention. We will be watching this story very closely as it develops. The magistrate's final decision, based on the police's written report, will be the next major turning point. It is a rare and fascinating glimpse into the inner workings of the justice system and the checks and balances or lack thereof between different state departments. What are your thoughts on this? It's a truly unique situation. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this breakdown informative, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss our update on this story. We'll be back with more details as soon as they become available. See you in the next video.